What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Club and Country. This is episode number 41. We start today's episode on the back of the transfer deadline day signing of Joe Rodden. We look at our fixtures for September. The Tigers away, Norwich at home, Reading away at the Medeski, and also Bristol City at home, who as we know have become a bit of a rival for us in this series. And also a bid for Brandon Cooper as well, ex-club captain. He's had some big bids in this window as well, one from Steaua Bucharest, a Romanian side, and now FC Basel. What have taken to Switzerland as well. Once again, we turned it down. It's a lot of money for Cooper, don't get me wrong. But to be fair, since coming in Season 1, he has nailed down a starting centre-back spot. And whilst my defence is really, really poor, I'd rather have Cooper than the money. So Cooper remains. I'm not going to look to sell him. I'm reasonably happy with how the team is looking right now. A 4-star team heading in to Season 4. Still, first game of today's episode in the Northeast, Hull away from home. Again, I can never remember what their stadium is called now. I want to call it the K-Con, but I don't think it is. But even so, Hull away from home. Starting the game off, had the first chance with Ruben Colwell, but the Tigers would take the lead 25 minutes in. You would have seen Haynes of the game. I was missing quite a few players. There was no Rashasha, there was no Price, there was no Gavin Humphreys. And we saw it in the last episode. They're all away on international duty for this game, which is so frustrating because I've talked about it before. In the Championship and in the Premier League, when the international fixtures during the season come round, they go on breaks. But for some reason in the game, the Championship, there are 2 games a season where you'll miss your players. This was just one of them, and I was missing them badly as well. On the back of our last Championship game, a 1-0 defeat to Stoke, only 2 wins in our first 6. I really needed a win in this one, could not afford back-to-back defeats. I've been the better team as well. I just couldn't find the goal to get back on level terms. But it's just so ironic because I had a couple of golden chances in the first half from Ruben Colwell, missed them both. The most difficult chance I had in the game is the chance I score. It's typical. It's a brilliant free ball by Ruben. He thought, if I can't score, I'll set it up. Plays it through, and Rabi Matondo is fourth of the year, chips it over the goalkeeper into the far corner and makes it 1-1. However, what you might have missed during that passage of play, and I wouldn't blame you for missing it because it happened very quickly, was Ben Davis, who won the aerial duel to win possession back, went down, stayed down, and was eventually forced off as well. So still tied at 1-1, 67 minutes in a game where I've been the better team, just like against Stoke. Just couldn't take enough chances. Thankfully, if Ruben can't finish, Rabi can. Yeah, Matondo bags a brace, and just like against Brentford, he's the hero as we come from behind to win it, courtesy of a Matondo brace. Goals 4 and 5 for the season. Matondo, 2 goals in 7 minutes. Final score, Hull 1, Newport County 2. Big return to victory there. However, the bad news, Ben Davis with the broken toe is done for 3 months. Gutted because at 31 years old, he keeps signing those 1-year extensions season after season because he doesn't want to leave. He wants to lead Newport County back into the Premier League, but now done for 3 months. That is gutting. 83 overall in the Championship, continuing to get better even in his 30s. Done for 3 months. Won't see him again until around Christmas time, I'd say. And that's a big, big blow there. The only thing I will say is that I'm very glad I re-signed Dylan Levitt on loan from Manchester United for a 3rd straight year, because that way he can fill in for Ben Davis. And it won't be too big of a blow because Levitt does have some good potential. Still, following that, the Canaries, Norwich City, Dean Smith's side coming to take us on here at Rodney Parade. Just real briefly on this, I don't want to break away from the gameplay too much as Rabi Matondo gets goal number 6. Dude's off to a great start once again this year. I've got to say, there's been some big managerial changes in the Premier League this season, even so early on, and not just with the big teams, you know, Conte going to Spurs and Ralph coming in at Manchester United, but you've seen at Aston Villa, you know, Steven Gerrard coming to Villa Park there. You've seen again with Norwich, Dean Smith coming to Carrow Road. I've got to say, the managerial changes, I'm always very apprehensive when teams change managers so early on into the season. You know, Watford getting Claudio Ranieri as well. I'm sure I missed 1 or 2 as well. But I have to say, it's probably been a good thing for the majority of the clubs this season to change their managers even so early on into the season. I think Dean Smith with Norwich, there's been some improvement since he's came into Carrow Road. You think with Steven Gerrard, the great start he's had at Villa Park, very, very pleased with him. You know, it's I have to say, like, normally again, I wouldn't say I'm against it, but I think that teams do pull the trigger on sacking their managers quite early on into the season, a bit too quick for my liking. But to be fair, this season the Premier League, it seems to have been the best thing to do. Those clubs that have pulled triggers and replaced their managers early are currently reaping the benefits of fresh blood. Still, yeah, Norwich for the following game here at Rodney Parade. Of course, they were relegated from the Premier League last season in the game, so they'll be one of the front runners to gain automatic promotion. We took an early 2-goal lead through Rabi and Rashesh, but then after giving away a penalty through a new signing, Joe Rodden, typical, they convert from the spot. That was an AI on ultimate penalty. That one absolutely brilliant. How 24 minutes in, oh, should have restored the lead. What a through ball by Gavin Humphreys. That was amazing, man. Great save, catches the 2-1, however, from the corner. Humphreys whips it in, and there is Lloyd Payne heading his first goal of the season as the academy grads link up for our third goal. It's always so cool when two of your youth academy graduates link up for a goal. Happens there, Humphreys to Payne, and it's 3-1 Newport County. So 2-goal cushion restored. However, I've talked about it in this year's FIFA, getting goals, I'm normally quite good at them. There will be some games where I dominate, but just can't find the back of the net, but for the most part, I'm pretty good in front of goal in this year's FIFA. But defensively, I'm absolutely shocking. And obviously I signed Joe Rodden on transfer deadline day to hopefully plug some gaps at 77 overall. And 26 years old, a big physically imposing 6'4" centre back. But I think sometimes I've just got to be honest here. It doesn't really matter what defenders I'm using, what goalkeeper I've got. I just can't keep the ball out of the back of my own net. We were leading by 3-1. I led on 2 separate occasions in this game, and in the end had to settle for a point after the Canaries bagged 2 goals in 7 minutes and what was eventually a 3-3 draw. But whilst that is the case, and I think defending in this year's FIFA is at times an almost impossible task, I listened to a podcast, and I've mentioned it a few times now. It's called the High Performance Podcast. It's with Jake Humphrey, who you might know if you live in England, or the UK I should say. He does the sport on BT. Really great guy. He used to be a children's presenter with CBBC as well. Really great guy, very funny, very talented, very charismatic. But he does a podcast alongside a professor called Damien Hughes, and he interviews loads of like high-profile athletes and entrepreneurs and businessmen and women, and it's a great podcast. There are so many awesome episodes on there, and there are quite a few like sort of phrases they'll often repeat. Things like the power of infinite purpose, or they'll talk about why helicopter parenting is bad sometimes. One of the things they often talk about is taking 100% responsibility, and even when things aren't completely your fault, it's still about taking the responsibility yourself, because only if you do that can you stop looking to shoulder the blame and put it on something or someone else and grow. And I think that's kind of been my mentality a little bit more in this year's FIFA as well. Like, it's true, like defending is an almost impossible task in FIFA at times. However, I really feel as though I can't blame the game for that. It's on me to get better at defending. It's on me to learn and improve. So whilst I could sit there and say, oh, it's ridiculous, it's too hard, stop the AI, they're almost perfect at sometimes, I think it's better to say, do you know what? No, like sometimes it is almost impossible to stop them, but it is possible. It's not like you get no clean sheets all season long. It is possible, but only if you take 100% responsibility can you learn to get better. It'll be much easier for me to say, it's too hard, it's too difficult, I'll never be able to do it. It's more important to say, look, I've got to get better. Last year, we were a top 10 team. Yeah, I had the second worst defensive record in the division. It's on me to say that's not good enough. Yes, it's ridiculously difficult, don't get me wrong, but I have to take responsibility and say I'm just not defending as well as I need to. I need to get better at that. So, following game, Reading away Medeski. And we were 2-0 down 35 minutes in. We managed to get back in the game through Dylan Levitt's first goal of the season on loan from the Red Devils. And then later on, Rabi Matondo with yet another goal. Going for the Golden Boot this year after he was second in the top scoring chart. Makes it 2-2 as we battle back from 2 goals down to claim a point there. And our final game of September and our final game of today's episode, Bristol City, the Robins. I tell you, I love facing these guys now because it's just great how they've become a division rival. 18 minutes into the game, these two, man, what are they doing in the Championship? I mean, seriously, both of these players should be playing top-tier football. Humphreys with the through ball, Rabi with the finish. It is, oh, great camera angle. It is 9 goals for Rabi Matondo, sorry, 8 goals for Rabi Matondo this season in 10 games. How is this guy still in the Championship, man? Like, seriously, get this guy in the top tier, hopefully, with Newport County, because he's just too good. 4 minutes after the restart, he scored our first and gets our second for what was goal number 9 there. 2-0 Newport County. Just one of those games where Matondo is just on red hot form and simply cannot stop. 2-0 Newport County, and it was 16 minutes to go. Still leading by 2, looking for our third. It's a great first touch by Humphreys to beat Atkinson, rolls it through, and there is the first hat-trick of the season, and what a surprise it comes to our number 11. Ravi Matondo on the end of the Humphreys through ball for the second time in the game. Newport County 3, Bristol City 0. And there you go, taking 100% responsibility, not blaming the game and saying it's too hard to defend, but instead looking to do things better. I felt like I was a lot more patient and composed with my defenders in this game. Got the clean sheet, one of the rare ones I'll get all season long, but a 3-0 victory. Matondo with a hat-trick, now 10 goals for the season, and after a big win there, we jump up to 8th place. We're still way off the pace for automatic promotion, 6 points behind Coventry and 10 behind the Cherries, but even so, we're only now 3 points off the playoffs, long way to go, not even a quarter away through the season, but signs of improvement from Newport County. But that will end today's episode of CNC, guys. Big thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, if you hadn't, please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. Don't forget to take 100% responsibility, and I'll see you for the next episode of CNC very soon. By the way, check out the High Performance podcast. It's great. Definitely recommend it.